like that.
All right, so I guess I'll go ahead and start. I don't know if you all have seeds with you. If you don't, you do, don't worry about it. But so a seed is, I just think it's such a lovely metaphor for possibility, and especially this time of year with so many things growing. But a seed remains a seed unless we have some earth to plant it into. And so I was gonna smudge and then say a little prayer. So if you have a smudge of your own, you can smudge your space. More plant medicines. Invite the healing spirits.
Oh, I still did some.
Oh, it smells so good. Little sage. So there's this book called, it's the Anastasia. I don't know if y'all have heard of, there was a series of like 7 or 8. And she was this woman that lived in the woods and had all this wisdom in Russia, and lived in a cedar forest. But in one of her teachings was that before planting seeds, you can stick them under your tongue, because the healing that we need from plants, the seed will incorporate our DNA from the saliva and what's needed, so that the plant will grow and then be a medicine to us. So you don't have to do that, but I just like to share that teaching. So sometimes, every once in a while, I'll put the seed under my tongue before I plant it. But I brought
So the reason I was making a face was because I brought some seeds that I had, basically I smuggled them back from Cuba when we went.
Oh.
So I'm finally.
What is it?
Like, what is it?
I don't even know. I don't remember what it was called, but I got it in the forest at the, what are they called? The Santeria water, where they go and do their offerings and stuff. So I found a seed pod and I was like, I'm taking that home.
Nice.
So
is it huge?
I'm about to plant it.
Will it fit under your tongue? Is it too big?
No, it's just it can't.
You can also hold it to your heart. And then so today I brought just a little turkey feather smudge fan that I made. Turkeys are, some people call them ground eagles. And the idea of working with the earth element is that it's kind of like we have to build our foundation, right? And earth and the first chakra that has to do with the element of earth all has to do with feeling at home in our bodies, and security. And it's such a crazy time right now, and the fact that we're all having to stay at home is kind of an opportunity to think about the things in our home that we can lighten and get rid of and clean. And but anyway, turkey is the medicines that I'm kind of wanting to work in the meditation today. Turkey, snake, and buffalo. Both turkey and buffalo are kind of these medicines that are considered like giveaway, like the turkey, think about Thanksgiving and all the turkeys that are slaughtered and the meat that they provide. And then buffalo, every part of the buffalo is used by indigenous people. So to have security and to feel like we're coming from a place of abundance, we have to have gratitude. So to build that foundation that we can kind of grow out of, like the seed in the earth, if we can have gratitude for the earth and gratitude for our own bodies, then I think that we're having to kind of think about our relationship to what prosperity means right now. Like we might not be the richest people, and there's a lot of like Daryl has like right now no job security. I mean, we're hoping that that will all come back, but he's not making any income, and so it's a kind of a good time to think about the turkey and the buffalo and what prosperity can mean otherwise. Like, what are our other gifts and our tools and things that we can offer to the world, um, outside of thinking about um, riches and prosperity, meaning that we have a lot of money, because we do have so many gifts, and we're given this time to kind of explore what those things are. Okay, so I'm just gonna say a little prayer. So you can hold your seed. You can hold it under your tongue or in your to your heart, and then just okay. Holy, blessed Creator, blessed Mother Earth, thank you for hearing this prayer and presencing yourself to the three of us right now in this circle, and all the other meditations and the people that have shown up. And I'm asking you to bless each and every one of our hearts and our bodies and our minds. Thank you for the spiritual guardians of the East and all the wisdom that comes from that direction. The ancient people from the East and Asia knew how to coordinate their breathing with the movement of their bodies. And there's so much wisdom there and so many wonderful teachings. And, perhaps in this meditation, we can experience some healing from using that tool of our breath. Thank you to the spiritual guardians and the wisdom that comes from the South, and all the plant medicines that come from the jungles, and the peyote and the ayahuasca and the indigenous ones that are having such a hard time guarding those things, guarding those medicines that we still have so much learning to gain from, so much teaching about love and compassion. Thank you for the spiritual guardians to our west and all the waters. May all life be blessed, all waters that are holding life, whether it be women about to give birth in this time, or the swimming animals and creatures. Thank you for the wisdom and the spiritual guardians from the north, and all the stillness that came from winter, and now how it is exploding out through the earth. We have so much to learn from you, Mother Earth. The beautiful blanket of snow that was just covering the earth only months ago has now melted away, and life is just coming, teeming, the birds and the flowers. And it's a part, this process of cycles and spring and the seasons, and has so much to teach us. And so through this meditation, through taking this time out of our day today, please grant us some healing and some teachings. I hope. Okay, so I wanted to do something with you all. It's a little bit different from the last time, but so I have these little snakes. They're garter snakes that are living outside my front door. There's a mom and 3 babies, and I've been posting some pictures about them. And I have been terrified of snakes irrationally for a long time, but I've been spending some time and like petting the little ones on their heads and trying to get over my fear. And snake is such a beautiful representative of the shedding of the skin and going deep within the earth. And I actually there's 3 babies, so they're kind of living around my well. and I kind of like stuck my head down to look in the well, and I scared one of the snakes, and it like went down into the water. So I freaked out, of course, and like I ran to get this bucket and a rope, and I was going to save the snake. But by the time I got back, it was climbing up vertically, and I thought, oh, that's so kind of gross, but so amazing at the same time.
Are you about to pull out a snake, Sherry?
I'm not. I'm trying. I haven't like held it yet, but I'm just like petting its head. I'm getting there. I have to
My boss had me looking for snakes for the past couple of weeks for his daughter, and I found one. I'll have to send you the picture because he doesn't want her to have that fear. The 4-year-old I was telling you about with the headband thing. And I found one. And
so there's a
made
story.
this habitat for her for that day, you know.
Yeah, there's a story, and I have to find out what book I read this in. I can't remember, but that Lilith was actually Adam's first wife before Eve. He was married to this woman, Lilith, and then she was really strong and independent, and he wanted to kind of control her, and so she didn't want to be married to him. And this story is such a great story, and she became the snake from the Garden of Eden. It was actually Lilith, the woman.
That is a good story.
I have to find this book. It was such a cool, interesting story. But I mean, it's fascinating that we have that fear of snakes, and you know, like they're kind of phallic a little bit, and like they do represent sexuality and mystery, but also, you know, that story of the Garden of Eden and basically the snake being Satan, I think it affects us deeply in our psyche. And so whenever I see a snake, I always just scream naturally, and I have to like check myself, and I'm like, I'm not really afraid, but it's like this instantaneous like fear reaction. Okay, so what was I gonna say after that? I forgot. Oh yeah, so I wanted to just do this thing. Okay, so if you can stand up, or you can just do it from where you're sitting, that's okay too. So all of the stress and all of the like heaviness and the worry, because I know each one of us are so blessed, you know, we have families around, and our you know, contact with our mothers and our children are safe, and it's been a heavy thing, like thinking about the buffalo and carrying that big load on its back, that the concern that we have for our loved ones, the people that are really having a hard time, you know, being at home with young children and losing their patients and losing their jobs, and people actually dying, and the healthcare workers and all of that. So it's like, even though we're, you know, in these protective bubbles, we can't help but have concern and worry, and that's a really beautiful thing. But at the same time, we can't let it burden us to the point where we're not able to kind of focus on, you know, being the best that we can for our families. And, you know, we give how we can, and we help how we can, absolutely. But just to let go of some of that stress, you can imagine like you're holding like the venom, the other reason why we're scared of snakes, like the venom and the stress and the pain and the worry and all of that. And you're just gonna like kind of hold it in your fist and then give it to the earth. And then you can just like kind of like hold it, and then like that. You want to make a, and then actually like off the body, and then kind of get that energy off. And then you can imagine that earth below you where you put the venom. So that can be a hole, and that hole is going to accept the venom, and it's going to transform it into something beautiful, like a flower or a tree. Because what the earth does is, I mean, if you think about like all the souls that have been buried in the earth, all the life that Mother Earth has taken in, she's just endlessly compassionate. And so she's able to take that energy from us and accept it. So, all right, so you can come back and get comfortable. And then I had mentioned this in the other one, working with the earth. If we really are missing somebody, like there's a lot of birthdays passing, babies being born, lots of celebratory things, graduation for people coming up, that it's nice to touch soil and say the name of the people that we love. You know, we also can call them and FaceTime them and do all those things. But like if in that moment when we're thinking about them and we want to send them some love, it's good to like actually put our hands on the earth and say their name. You can even sing up their name. It's sort of a way to pray for somebody without, you know, being invasive and before we really know what their needs are. So I just wanted to share that little nugget. Let's see, what else did I want to say? Talk about the snake. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do the meditation. So, so in the meditation, this meditation in particular, we're gonna do shamanic journeying. So there's different ways that information comes to us. Everybody has a different way. Some people can see things in their imagination, in their mind's eye, like visual. Sometimes you can hear things, sometimes you just know, and there's no right or wrong. Oh, I know what I was going to say about creating, sorry, I'm a little scattered. I've been outside all day. So altars are really portals that connect us to outer. It's like we create altars to ask for the outer wisdom that's available to us to align with our inner wisdom. So I'm suggesting for these meditations that you do create a little bit of an altar, and it can be super simple. Like even just having that seed on the altar, having, so my altar today, I do have a little snake skin on my altar.
Nice.
Good for you.
Yeah. And then this little clay thing that I made, and that's really it. So sometimes altars can be really simple, sometimes they can be elaborate, and they're not really vignettes. Like they're not, they actually have meaning, and what gives it meaning is our intentions and how we work with the altar. So if the moon is waxing from the new moon to the full moon, and you want to create an altar using the moon energy, think about your intention being something that you would like to create or gain. So something that you want to shine light on. So if we're working specifically with the earth, for instance, and creating an altar in honor of the earth, and then we can think about the earth and our own bodies and how we mirror the earth. So maybe the intention would be something about wanting a healthy body image and feeling at home in our own bodies. If we wanted to use an altar during the waning moon, from right after the full moon, when it starts to wane, your altar can be the same, like the things that you actually put on the altar, but how you're communing with it and how your conversation would be maybe something that you want to get rid of. So maybe the intention would be, how can I get rid of my negative body image? You know, like I've been having a hard time with my belly lately because I haven't been exercising, and instead of, you know, so like, and you know, like thinking about the intention of like, okay, I need to stop being so hard on myself and just love my body. And you know, it's just a subtle difference, but it's helpful to really think about the moon that way, because I mean, if you think about how the moon affects the ocean, and our own bodies are made up of so much water. It's a very strong, powerful energy. So that's just a little tidbit. Like if you're working with altars, thinking about something you want to shine light on while it's waxing, or something that you want to get rid of while it's waiting. Okay, so buffalo. When we journey, we're gonna ask him to be our guide. And in shamanic journeying, I was mentioning that information comes in many different ways and there's no right or wrong. But we're actually going to journey in to specifically try to find our power animal. So a power animal can be anything. And usually in the journey, if it's something that really wants to help you, it will show up either in that visual way or in your hearing or in your knowing more than once. So as we journey, if an animal shows up, you can kind of, in your, deep in your questioning, ask it, are you my power animal? And usually you get a sense of a yes or a no. And we can control our journeying because it's like the dream world and we're conscious. And we can kind of control where we go, but we can't necessarily control who shows up as our guide. So sometimes it could be something totally random, like a gopher, or, like a little cricket, or, it's not always eagle and hawk and bear. And those things do show up as well. And it's very beautiful. And the way I think of animal medicine, they have all kinds of books written about it. They have animal cards, and I really like my animal cards, but I kind of just like to think about that animal and like what its habits are, what its defense mechanisms are, and kind of relate it more to what my situation or the questions that the healing that I need, or and then if I don't really understand it, then I'll Google, like, what does this animal mean? What is the medicine of it? But I really recommend live animals, like when you see them in nature, to kind of just think about them first and what their teaching is for you specifically. And then after that, if you want to do some more investigating, that's great. Okay, so you can get comfortable. I recommend either having both feet touching the earth, so that, if you think about the sole of the foot is like in reflexology, our entire body is represented on the sole of our foot. Like each point of the foot represents our lungs, our stomach, brain. So it is nice to have the feet touching down, but it's also nice to get comfortable. And if you meditate and you're able to journey better laying down, then that's fine too. Just try to have the spine straight laying down and not curved, so that the energy can kind of flow freely. Let's get my drum. Okay, so I might just mute you guys just in case a dog or anything comes in. Okay, so you can begin to feel your body relaxing, and you can use the tool of your breath to inhale deeply into your body and exhale, allowing it to relax even further. Inhaling love, compassion, and protection. Exhaling love, protection, and compassion. You can feel Mother Earth coming up to meet your body and supporting each and every cell in your body. Supporting you, loving you. All that energy that's coming out and forcing these flowers to open, forcing the blooms and the trees and the leaves to come back. All of that is accessible to you in this meditation. So powerful and beautiful. And so you can allow your breathing to be the doorway in. So buffaloes were almost extinct because of our government. It was a way to, take the food away from the indigenous people of our land, and but they survived. And buffaloes really like to roam, and a lot of us are being kind of stuck inside, but we have an endless amount of inner landscape to delve into and to investigate. And so we can roam freely in our mind's eye and into our bodies. So you're going to start to feel a little heavier, more weighted. Buffaloes were massive, massive beasts. So calling the buffalo as our guide, you can begin to imagine what the buffalo looks like. Maybe a mother buffalo, or a male buffalo. Seeing the cake, the mud caked on its fur. The four hooves grounded squarely on the earth. The hump of its back. And then you have a choice whether you want to sit and ride atop the buffalo into your journey, or maybe even become the buffalo yourself. What noise does it make as it's inhaling and exhaling? Maybe it's traveling in a herd. For some reason, it's solo at the moment. As buffaloes travel, they have this expanse of plains and grasslands. And so whether you are the buffalo or you're riding atop it, you start to investigate and roam the grasslands, asking for helpers and allies from the animal kingdom, inviting them to join us. Perhaps the snake shows up underfoot, teaching us about allowing ourselves to shed our skins and the things that don't serve us. The ground eagle, the turkey, teaching us about generosity. The mountain lion may show up. Solar queen, teaching us about boundaries. Just take a moment to really allow yourselves to feel the massive weight of the buffalo herself, as if she was born of earth. She knows where to take you to find your power animal, your allies. Perhaps she deposits you at the ocean in case your power animal is living in the ocean. Perhaps she brings you to the mountains, the desert. The buffalo in her herd is carrying a massive weight. That's a shared burden that she carries. So as we invite our animal spirit guides to join us, you can also ask them to share some of the weight that we've been carrying as well. If you have a winged one ally, perhaps they can take some of the weight and carry it up into the sky nation, dispersing it. If it's a swimming animal, perhaps they can take the weight and the worry, taking it deep, deep down into the ocean, allowing it to dissipate. Maybe one of the animals, the fox or the snake or the groundhog, that can go down into the earth, burying the worry, burying our thoughts that don't really serve us anymore. Fear. Maybe our ally is one of those that changes like a frog or a butterfly. Once you've chosen, or once your power animal has chosen you, feel them as a friend and a protector. And if in your meditation you didn't see or hear or meet an animal, you can choose what medicine. You can choose which animal you would like to swim beside you, fly beside you, walk, run, leap next to you as an ally. And then as we quiet down with our allies next to us, we can really ask, we can pose the question to ourselves and to the greater universe, to our higher selves. What is it that we'd like to call in abundance at this moment? So that we have so much of it that, like the buffalo, we can give of our own medicine, we can give of our own sharing, we can give of our joy, we can give of our love, we can give of our teachings and our knowledge. We can generate from a place not of this feeling of sacrifice, but generate from a feeling of gratitude and abundance and prosperity. generate from a feeling of being blessed because we're grateful for the things that we do have. We're rich when we realize what we have in front of us. And each and every one of us, no matter where we are on our journey, we all have the beauty of Mother Earth at our fingertips. We all can see the moon when we look up at the sky. We all get to watch the sun rising and the sun setting. We all have access to Mother Nature and her beauty. And so on your journey with your power animal, you can begin to say thank you to the buffalo. And then you can allow her to freely roam the plains. You can watch her go with her herd. And then you're going to journey by foot with your power animal. As you're walking through the plains, the grasslands will become forest. And as you're walking through the forest, you're gonna just feel the trees and the leaves and the wind and the breeze and hear the birds begin to sing. Maybe there's a beautiful brook running through. And then you're gonna come upon a piece of medicine that's meant just for you. Maybe it's a plant medicine or a gem, arrowhead. And you can take that piece of medicine and you can place it in your heart. And like the altars that we were speaking of, this piece of medicine that's now integrated into your heart will remind you the next time that you're walking on the earth that she is a part of us and we are a part of her. It will help remind you that we are the earth's children. And the source that she has to grow life is the same source that we have in our own hearts to send out love. And any time in our lifetime when, maybe we didn't feel loved or we didn't feel secure or we experienced some kind of trauma that lodged itself into our body, this piece of medicine is allowing those things to be taken away. The parts of our body that are hurting, are stuck, are blocked. This piece of medicine is healing. Medicine that was made just for you, that knows, just like that seed under the tongue, it knows exactly how to service, how to be in your best interest. And consider that in your meditation, if you didn't find a piece of medicine, nothing showed up for you, sometimes it's enough to know that you yourself are the medicine. You are medicine for your family. Your love and your embraces and your touch is medicine to your loved ones. Your laughter, your smile. Your joy is medicine. So in your meditation, take a moment as well to maybe go back even further in time than the present moment and see yourself living in a way that was perfectly attuned to Mother Earth. What were the ceremonies that you performed? What were the rituals? How did you honor the cycles and the seasons? Did you have a medicine wheel that you walked? Did you move your body in a way, in a dancing way that honored the wind? Were you one of those that learned how to swim right from the womb? You were a swimmer, collected shells to adorn your body. And as you feel yourself in tune and with the rhythm and the heartbeat of Mother Earth, we can ask ourselves, why don't we perform those rituals and those ceremonies anymore? How can we invite them into our everyday life? And that they can be as simple as gratitude, saying thank you to the earth every day. As simple as saying a quick prayer over our food that the earth grows. Thank you again. And so if your animal, spirit animal is still with you, you can say thank you to them. And you can come back into your body. Incorporating the medicine that you found in your journey. Inhaling fresh prana and chi and life force back into your body. Exhaling any bit of stale or stagnant air, any thought processes that aren't serving you. Inhaling the gratitude of the sun that was out today. Exhaling this feeling of being cooped up. Inhaling healing again into the areas that need it. Exhaling And then I have a little thing that we can do with, can I just unmute you? Hi, Hannah. Is that your daughter?
Yes, it is. This is Evelyn.
Hi, Evelyn. Is she? Hi. Oh my gosh, so sweet. So Evelyn, I don't know if you want to do a little thing with us. You don't have to. You can just listen. But if you want, I'll show you. So just let me just get situated here.
You're probably gonna have to mute me again, Sherry.
I will, but I'm just, yeah, she can join if she doesn't have to, but oh, you got your son there too. Hi.
That's okay, buddy.
Hi, you guys are tired. Aw.
Sorry.
Well, we're almost done, you guys.
Almost gonna be done in 1 minute.
I'm gonna mute. You're almost done. Just a couple more minutes. But if you want to do this, or if you can just watch if you want. But I'm gonna show you a little yoga move. So you can imagine.